Thanks. We are beginning to learn what Democratic candidates will try to become the next governor of Wisconsin following the announcement on Thursday that Governor Tony Evers will not seek a third term. Lieutenant Governor Sara Rodriguez announced her bid in the 2026 race. Rodriguez was elected to the Wisconsin State Assembly in 2020 and has served as lieutenant governor alongside Governor Evers since 2022. Another Democratic contender is Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, saying he will take steps toward entering the race for the governor in the weeks ahead. Crowley is just 39 years old. He spent his entire life in Milwaukee. Two Republican candidates have already announced their campaigns for governor: Milwaukee businessman Bill Berrien and Washington County Executive Josh Schoemann. The governor's race, of course, will be high profile. Many other candidates from both sides of the aisle are expected to put their hat into the ring. The 2026 election will be the first open race for governor in Wisconsin in 16 years.
Everything is up for grabs in this election, and that creates a lot of excitement, opportunity, people wanting to step to the plate and see if they can win an election. When you have more of a toss-up, it really attracts the highest quality candidates on both parties because everybody feels like they have a shot. So I think we can expect a highly competitive and wide open field on both sides.
Republicans have held the majority in the Senate and in the Assembly since 2011. Democrats also hoping new district maps will tighten things up during those midterms. Both parties say they're energized for the 2026 matchup.